What's up, Miami? Phantom pump, Tomb pump, everything pump. How's everybody going? I'm the special guest. That's right, special. I wanted to see how many people would actually stay, but everybody's out drinking. How's everybody doing today? This is awesome. So welcome to the last session of the day. This is Tomb Finance Explained for all of you. My name's Harry A., Managing Director of Quantum FinTech Group. I'm also the chairman of Tomb.com. So let's jump right into it. First off, what is Tomb? I'll tell you exactly what Tomb is. Tomb is life, and life is Tomb, all right? But seriously, read the fucking docs, okay? I am so tired. No, the main reason we came up with this whole Tomb is life, life is Tomb thing is I got so tired of explaining to people what Tomb was. And instead of just saying read the docs, now we just say Tomb is life, life is Tomb, then read the docs. But in reality, the proper definition of Tomb is it's an algorithmic-backed stablecoin designed to be pegged to Phantom. One Tomb is equal to one Phantom. Tomb has seniorage, so it's very, very similar to how central banks work, where you have the expansion and contraction of Tomb. The token is money supply. Tomb is an original fork of Basis, but it's pegged to, what makes Tomb very, very unique is it's actually pegged to Phantom in order for the algorithm for the smart contract to expand or contract in the supply. So that's what makes it unique versus being based on stable coins. Now, one of the reasons Tomb's been very, very successful recently is because it's not pegged to stable coins, pegged to Phantom. Now, we support Phantom. Tomb is very, very part of the Phantom ecosystem. So what comprises of Tomb? Tomb isn't just a token. It's more kind of an ecosystem. But there's really, really three tokens that are required to make Tomb operate properly. One is Tomb, one is T-Share, and one is T-Bond. And one of the reasons I loved Tomb so much is there's a huge game theory behind it. You really, really have to understand how central banks, expansion and contraction, interest rates, money supply, everything works. Because at the end of the day, we're all playing a game, except it's called the game of life. And the game of life uses real money. So let's kind of dig into it a little bit deeper. So why is Tomb Finance so important to Phantom? And why is it important at all? Why important, sir? Okay. Phantom has limited supply, and most of the tokens that are actually issued on Phantom, about 60% of them are locked in validators. So that means these tokens aren't really freely available for trading. So the creators of Tomb, I didn't create Tomb, I just took over the project when there was an exploit. There's a limited amount of Phantom available, so it was designed to be used interchangeably with Phantom. And I thought, this is brilliant because if right now we've successfully kind of made it so that people use Tomb and Phantom interchangeably. So what happens is when I think of Tomb, I actually pay more people now in Tomb than I actually do in Phantom because then my Phantom I don't have to touch. And I can even borrow against my Tomb to get stable coins such as my. Where's the cheat out protocol, guys? Where are you guys? Right here, right there, yeah. So how does Tomb Finance work? There's a picture, understand it. No, so how Tomb works is there's this thing called the peg. So you hear people talk about the peg all the time. So now, rather than really worrying about what the price of Tomb or Phantom is, we focus on really kind of maintaining the peg, similar to kind of what a central bank does. So what part of our responsibility on our hedge fund and our team now that focuses on Tomb Finance is how do we keep Tomb at peg or above peg or below peg, depending on kind of what certain market conditions are. So let's talk about me saving Tomb Finance. Why did I save Tomb Finance? Well, it's one of the most fun projects, in the ecosystem. A lot of game theory. It kept me pretty busy this summer. So when the exploit happened, I was like, I have to save it. Tomb almost went down to 0. For all of those of you, how many of you were affected by that gatekeeper exploit? Raise your hands. Okay. 60-40, very good. In the back. He knows what 60-40 is. And then Tomb almost went to 0, almost to 4 cents. So why did I save Tomb Finance? Well, it's got amazing yields. So I was like, okay, I have to save Tomb. So that brings us to Tomb.com. So Tomb, there's been a real big evolution of Tomb over the last 120, 130 days since we took over. one of the things we thought was, instead of just using Tomb Finance, let's make it go a bit more mainstream. Everybody understands the .com name, so this is why we bought Tomb.com. So if you go to Tomb.com, you'll notice there's a lot more user interface experience, and we're going to be talking a little bit about that as well. So let's talk about Tomb itself as the actual token. Why is Tomb is that token that is the one that's pegged towards Phantom, and when the masonry is not printing, as you take a look here, when the masonry is not printing, when it's above peg, you get a 245% just from staking. So this, in my opinion, is the most no-brainer yield farming investment in crypto, because you're basically taking a one-to-one, which is the T-share. You stake it, and when it goes above peg, you're pretty much printing free Tomb, and free Tomb equals pretty much free Phantom. So Phantom, if you stake it on a validator node, you get 14%, but if you stake T-share in the masonry, you get 245%. Now, let's talk about how do you get T-shares. Well, you can buy T-shares. One T-share, when I took over on the exploit, was $14. Today, I think it's trading at around $17,000. Yeah, yep. I kind of killed it with that one. So there's about 60,000, 65,000 so-called T-shares out there, and there's about 40,000 that are printed right now. TVL is quite incredible. This number, we'll show you some metrics, just kind of how far this thing has come. But if you want to earn T-share, you can stake T-share with Phantom and earn T-share. But, oh, sorry, that one was Tomb. Sorry, I got that backwards. That was Tomb Phantom. There's T-share Phantom. So T-share Phantom allows you to earn T-shares, but Tomb Phantom also allows you to earn T-shares. And one of my most favorite ones is T-bonds, which nobody really touches because they think it's not liquid. But the reality is, I just look at it as T-bond is just the token that when the creators of Tomb made it, they didn't know what to do with it yet, but it was a very innovative way for them to lock up Tomb and burn Tomb. But I just looked at it, oh great, another token in the ecosystem. What can we do with it? So obviously with the exploit, we're going to explain a little bit later, if we're going to be airdropping T-bonds to everybody that got affected by the exploit. And those T-bonds will effectively give you more Tomb, but you'll also get 2 times more Fantees and more life tokens, et cetera. Yeah, the exploit, I'm happy to say, so everybody was saying to me, oh, Tomb's a Ponzi, blah, blah, blah. But, we're taking $40 million from the DAO, and we're actually giving it back to all the users that were exploited. Exploit wasn't even really our responsibility, but we have a responsibility to Tomb and Phantom's ecosystem, which is why we're doing it. And I'll go into a little bit more about the DAO fund afterwards. So let's talk about some really cool metrics. Phantom Developer Conference, this was, I think, about 40 days after we'd saved Tomb. So Tomb, on October 24th, Tomb had a $61 million market cap. T-share had a $245 million market cap. T-bond had a $10 million US market cap. But there was about $300 million in TVL in the project in 45 days and still growing. Today, and I just made the slide today, 120 days later from the exploit, Tomb has $485 million US market cap. T-share has $745 million in market cap. T-bond has now $126 million. And the current project today is $1.3 billion in TVL. It's less than 180 days old. But at a high, it was about $1.5 billion. So at the current projection and rate, with the stuff that we have going, this conservative projection is we'll probably have about 10 billion TVL in the next couple months. So this is the number. Numbers don't lie. So I like to show the numbers. Circulating supply. So very exciting to see this kind of growth. So 10x from October. Thank you. So let's talk a little bit about the DAO fund. So running 2 very successful hedge funds. If you had put $250,000 into my hedge fund last April, today you'd have about $49 million, so it did pretty well. So we're the only hedge fund now that charges 5.45. So I'm taking the exact same strategy that I used in the hedge funds, but now I'm applying it to the DAO fund. So what's interesting is as a DAO fund, it's professionally run like an actual hedge fund. Same discipline, everything that we're doing. So this is one of the reasons the DAO has been very, very successful. But we're looking at kind of the longer term growth because hedge funds objective is just to make money, but the DAO fund's objective is a little different. It's not just to make money, it's to make sure that the protocol stays very, very strong, and we support the community, and we look after everybody that's investing their hard-earned money into this protocol. So the DAO is designed to keep Tomb at around 1-to-1. But sometimes, we'll allow the peg to kind of drop below. So in the case of like the last couple weeks, I wanted to buy up all the T-bonds so that I could give them away to all the users that were affected. That's one of the main reasons why we allowed the peg to drop below 1. Yeah. So it's really, really for you guys. It's for the community, right? I mean, I have more money than I ever know what to do with. So for me now, it's kind of what's next, building. I mean, I mean, like that's true, right? How much is enough? What's your number? So I think when you have the opportunity to build something really, really great. So look, even this conference. Having a chance to take this conference, combine it with Tomb, combine it with Phantom, really, really give like a megaphone for the projects and the community out there. We're probably in like the most exciting part of growth in crypto in the next 4 or 5 years. I believe we're in a super cycle. A lot of people say we're in the end of the bull market, but we haven't peaked yet because in 2017, the peak was in December. My belief is that Bitcoin's going to hit 400 grand this year. I said it on Bloomberg today. So we haven't hit that yet. And what most people don't realize is there was no stable coins in 2017. That's the big difference. The big difference now is I can convert my crypto to stable coins and I can stake that and I can earn yield. This is why I believe, and there's so many people here I know that I've seen that weren't into crypto before, just even on my team. They were from traditional financial markets, they were in traditional businesses, but now they're all into crypto. So the community itself is growing. And one thing I've learned with Tomb and why I took over Tomb was that the community is the most important in anything. Like you guys are part of the North America Bitcoin Conference community, part of the Phantom community, part of the Tomb community, but part of the crypto community. And we're the most valuable asset because without us, just tell one person it. I've been telling one person every day about crypto for the last 9 years now. So if you just take one person, the power of kind of growth and exponential, if you talk to 365 people a year and they talk to 5 people, I mean, shit, it's quite a growth. So for Tomb, Discord, Telegram, check out, Twitter, Tomb Finance. And a really, really cool thing that was actually created by my friend Chantel, fiance over there. I was like, every week, the problem with DeFi is it moves so quickly. Like every 6 hours, everybody wants, what's the next change? What's the newest thing? And I said, okay, you know what? Humans, we can't think in like 6-hour increments. Though we get an epoch every 6 hours, so that's totally different for Tomb. But the reality is we needed some way to communicate updates to the Tomb community that people could actually digest and give us time to really execute our vision. So we came up with this thing called Tomb Tuesday. So there's 1 day a week, so I figured 52 weeks a year, we're responsible for doing something for the community, for something we need to report to the community at least once a week. And most people here will kind of give you that. So my whole team here, everybody, thank you. Every Monday night, we're like, okay, what are we going to do for Tomb Tuesday? What are we going to do? So we do all of our development stuff in like 6 hours on Mondays. No, I'm kidding. So Tomb Tuesday, update 19. So there's been 19 Tomb Tuesdays updates since we took over. Pretty soon it'll be 52. So obviously the first one is tomb.com. We're pushing for improving the better user experience. We're doing this thing called a Tomb swap. So for those of you that right now you have to go on a Spooky swap, you're going to be able to do swap directly on tomb.com without ever leaving tomb.com. And we're working on an on-ramp. We have other projects that are going to allow fiat to tokens much easier. And we talked a little bit about this before. If you own Tomb, T-shares, T-bonds, LPs that are on Reaper, what else is there? There's quite a few. Reaper, Taro, pretty much any LP. We've talked to every single project to get snapshots on a daily basis, so everybody gets these free airdrop tokens like Fanti and Life. Okay. So long story short is that when you hold Tomb ecosystem tokens, you're going to receive airdrops for kind of upcoming things, because you should be rewarded for believing in the token and ecosystem. But what's really, really unique is what I love about building businesses and working on DeFi projects is sometimes you ever heard that expression, we'll cross that bridge when we get there? It seems like every day there's a new bridge. And the bridge that I was the most excited about was when we went cross-chain. So for those of you that remember, we went cross-chain. Because we believe that, OK, look, Phantom's market cap is $1 billion, $10 billion right now. And Tombs is getting close to just even $1.4 billion in TVL. So we don't want Tomb's growth to be limited by Phantom necessarily, it's blockchain, but we know that what's good for Tomb is also great for Phantom. So what we're looking at is building more use cases for Tomb. So this is why first off, we're launching an exchange called Felix based on Binance.com. And if you look at our partners, Binance.us is here, Binance.com. We're building out the exchange. That's going to be international. It's not going to be available for US, but we'll probably work with Binance US on something for the US. More details when they become available. Tokens such as Felix Life, single staking, these are the things that we're working on. But the one that I'm really the most excited about, one that we haven't really talked about, is a layer 2 scaling solution. Now, some of our team, we have prototyped some of this. Why is this important? So imagine just the same way that API, right now the world, there's all these different data silos with APIs. We're potentially looking at having Tomb as a layer 2 scaling solution with its own validator nodes. The data is still stored on the underlying blockchain, such as Phantom, Ethereum, Solana, and whatnot. But it allows Tomb to be kind of used as a gas token. And it's part of our cross-chain strategy that gives Tomb a little bit more utility. But this is definitely kind of in the earlier stages, but one of the things I'm the most excited about. He's one of the guys working on it, that's why. So this is our contact. You can contact Twitter, Tomb Labs, Tomb Finance. I want to thank you all for coming to my talk. I didn't want to, I probably went over on time, but I own the conference, so I guess I can take as much time as I want, right? Thank you, everybody.